What's going on, everybody? Phil here from the Vin and Phil Show, and we are here with our glorious episode 4.
Yes, we made it.
We made it, but I think today we might take a slight detour from what we've currently been talking about, which is totally cool because, Vin and I came into this thing with literally no agenda. So we're going to continue with no agenda. So when we feel like changing directions, we're going to change directions. And hopefully you guys are along for the ride. And if you're not, well, hang on. But today like I said, we're going to change directions a little bit. We've really, basically what's happened is we've spent a lot of time focusing on the music side of things when we've been talking about songs and stuff like that, and not so focused. We've definitely talked about the lyrics here or there to some songs, absolutely, but it hasn't been the focus. And not only have the lyrics not been the focus, but we certainly haven't talked about lyricists, unless they were the artists that wrote the songs, which happened and happens. But I think that, people outside of the music business don't necessarily even understand that there are like other people that write other people's songs.
That is true. But unfortunately, none of that applies to what we have to talk about today.
Tonight, the people that
we are talking lyrics today.
Yeah.
We're talking lyrics today.
But no, it's a point to note, and we'll end up. I'm sure we'll end up doing a day where we talk about more of the writers that are writers. That like really didn't necessarily try to make a career as an artist, weren't interested in that per se. Mm-hmm. There's many of those people as well, the unsung heroes, I guess, if you will. But yeah, I guess before we fully dive in, there's a couple of our points to note that we always like to run through. First and foremost, we have a playlist that we make that follows along with all of the songs that we talk about or have talked about. It's a great way for you guys as viewers and listeners to stop and check out what songs we're speaking of. Unfortunately, we can't get the rights for all of the songs to be able to play them here on our episodes. So instead, this is the best way, I would think, to really check out the stuff.
It's really not hard, just to have 2 tabs open, just so you can stop the video and check out the song we're talking about, come back to it, listen to it again, whatever you want to do.
Sure.
Just put the playlist on and just let it rock.
Yeah, it's also just a great playlist, that's for sure. And I think I didn't mention the name just yet, but it's also just the name of the show. It's called Vin and Phil Show. It's all in caps. That's the name of the playlist. If you search that in Spotify, you'll be able to find it real easily. So that's that, and I'll be posting that. It'll be in the video throughout. If you don't remember the name, but I think you can remember that. The other thing that we like to mention is that Vin and I are both working musicians. However, due to the current state of the country, the world, life as it is, we're not so much working musicians. And we definitely love doing this, talking about music and sharing that with everybody. But at the same time, we are trying to make a living. And so, if anybody's out there that's interested in helping us out a little bit and keeping us afloat while we figure out some things along the way, that would be helpful. And so we both have Venmo. Vin's is at Vincent-Mott, M-O-T-T, 2 T's. And mine is at Phil-Silverberg. That's silver like the metal, B-E-R-G. Excuse me. And so, like I said, if you're feeling generous, we would certainly appreciate it. And that being said, I think away we roll.
Yeah.
The last few weeks, man, I guess chronologically, it has made sense for me to dive in and be the first. But and last week we had Tom joining us also. But today, I think it has to start with you, Vin.
Yes, sir. Well, before I begin, salud, cheers to everybody out there.
That being said, please, there was one thing I forgot to mention, and if you would be so kind as to please plug yourself away for the new release of your project, today,
right,
as we speak, happening now.
Yes.
So please, go ahead, take a second and shout that out.
Yeah. So we're recording this on Monday the 13th. It's my the release date of my brand new EP called Country Blues in Quarantine, which was done almost completely DIY on my end. I wrote all the songs, 7 brand new originals. It is an EP, so it's short. 7 brand new originals. I play all the instruments but the bass, and I did all the mix and mastering, and made the little cover on it when you download it. And yeah, so that's out today. You can find it everywhere that music is downloaded and streamed, and you can find it on all my social media links to where you can purchase it.
Yeah, we'll see. I was thinking also, we'll see if maybe I can drop in our links for some of our social medias and stuff like this.
Cool.
In the video, along in the videos, and also down in the comment section.
Yeah, right.
So
right.
We'll drop that in there. But definitely go check that out.
I still got to update my website with the new record.
Sure.
But my internet has been down for the last 2.5 hours. So.
Well, get on it, because I'm going to post this video quickly. So
cool. Will do.
Well, so good. I forgot about that, man. I wanted to make sure we got that in there, and we'll definitely get another plug in there also. But take it away, man. Let's talk about some lyricists. I know you've been hot on one recently.
Yes, very hot on one. She was very hot. No, indeed. Yeah, I have been. I don't know what it was. I mean, I did just recently watch the documentary on Netflix, the Amy Winehouse documentary, and I've been really infatuated with Amy Winehouse's music. Specifically Back to Black, the album Back to Black. It's an absolute masterpiece, and I'm not one for like pop music and like, but this is something different, I didn't know before I watched that documentary that she wrote everything. All her lyrics are her.
Yeah.
And I just think her style is so cool. And I did take a look. I dove deep on 2 different tunes, both from Back to Black. The first one is You Know That I'm No Good.
Sure.
And so a little bit about Back to Black. So it was released October 2006 on Island Records. Produced, of course, by Mark Ronson and Salam Remy. Mm-hmm. This record won the 2008 Best Pop Vocal Album Grammy. And yeah, this album has a definite theme throughout the entire thing, which is drugs and drinking and bad habits and cheating lovers and personal experiences, including her, basically the whole story of her and her ex-boyfriend. I'm not going too deep into her background because it's very easily found on the internet if you search her name. You can, read about her story. You can watch documentaries about her story.
Yeah, I haven't seen the documentary, but from what I hear, it is quite excellent. It's
really good. Yeah, it was really good. I enjoyed it very much. To say the least, her life was turbulent, and that is basically what this whole record is about. I think it's worth noting that prior to this release, she was pretty well known in England, at least in like the jazz world.
Sure.
She was an accomplished singer at a really young age, and she was a constant journaler and writer. She used to write poems and songs, and she had been honing this craft of writing, putting words together for a long period of time, even as young as she was, for a long period of time before Back to Black. By the time she was writing Back to Black, she was an absolute pro, and these 2 songs, I think, are very close to being lyrical masterpieces.
Wow.
I would say.
No, I think there's a lot of people out there that would also agree.
Yeah. So the first song is You Know That I'm No Good. And the track that they put together for this tune is so cool. It's mischievous sounding, it's very minory. Obviously it's got like super hard. Oh, I've skipped over just like everything on this record, and this tune is no exception, is old school sounding R&B.
That's the
60s girl group shit.
Yeah, that's like the Mark Ronson thing. That's why he really does it right. We've talked about it before.
It's definitely like in the mix of it. It's modern. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. But everything, all of the proper elements are there, and then it was just done with the cleanliness and tidiness of a modern record.
Yeah, and I feel like the mix on it is not what I would expect from that style.
Right. No, it's more polished. Yeah.
But needless to say, it doesn't matter because it's the way it sounds currently is badass.
Well, I think part of the only reason I bring that up, it ultimately made her stuff timeless because of that. It's you know what I mean? Like 50 years from now, I think it's gonna be hard for people to listen to that and to decide what time period it was.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
I would say too, like just because the track fits the lyrics so well, it's that like it's a really good example of where like the songwriting and the producing meet, to make something that's really good,
right?
Sure. That's this track. I mean, that's how I would describe this track. It's like the perfect melding of Amy as the songwriter and Mark Ronson as the producer, and coming up with just the coolest music. All right, so it's a story song. It's told in the first position, I guess it is, right? When you say I, right?
First
when everything's
person,
like, first position, first person.
Yeah.
It's a story about her cheating on a boyfriend who was like a real sweetheart, which therefore makes her feel like she's cheating herself out of a good thing. The song, it's a song about being unable to control your compulsions and continuing a legacy of bad habits, just as a quick synopsis. So a couple of things that really stand out. In verse 1, she comes right out. Oh wait, I forgot. I need to like read the lyrics off my phone.
Yeah, well, and that's another point to note, people. Again, Vin and I are just playing it safe, and we are not going to post the lyrics to these. However, a quick, simple Google search of the name of the song will let you pull up the lyrics so that you can be reading along with him.
Right. So it starts with she like sets a scene perfectly. Meet you downstairs in the bar and heard your rolled up sleeves and your skull t-shirt is like just like the image, like coming down the stairs and seeing this guy, familiar guy, standing waiting for you.
Right.
She immediately hits you with the guilt though. Immediately after that, you say, what did you do with him today? And sniff me out like I was Tanqueray. It's a pretty cool fucking lyric, if you ask me.
Yeah.
The chorus is like the pessimist's lament. I cheated myself. I knew I would. I told you I was trouble. I'm no good.
Right.
Which is kind of just like.
In terms of overall format of the song, right? It's a kind of a refrain, right? She's ending every verse essentially with it, right?
I don't know if I would call that a refrain, though, because it is like a chorus.
It's a chorus. All right. I mean, it's a tag at the end of that she's repeating.
Yeah.
Right. Like every line is ultimately that's the punchline. Is
right.
Which is just to me is interesting because it's not as common. It's an awesome thing, but it's not as common a thing in pop music.
Yeah, true. There's a funny line in here too that says you By the time I'm out the door, you tear me down like Roger Moore. And Roger Moore, they asked Roger Moore like why he thought that she used his name in this song, and he was like quoted saying like, "Oh, either she needed something to rhyme with door, or didn't have something that to rhyme with Shatner."
All right, interesting.
I thought it was like a funny quote that I saw when I was researching this. The song moves on into verse 2. Verse 2 is kind of a funny verse because I'm pretty sure she's describing her orgasm, and I think it's a funny, like clever, sly way to describe it. The lyrics are: upstairs in bed with my ex-boy. He's in the place, but I can't get joy. Thinking of you in the final throes. This is when my buzzer goes.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Now, remember, the song is about like her cheating on a boyfriend, right?
Right.
So, like, I'm thinking like first of all, who uses the word throws? THROES. In the final throws.
Oh, it was that way?
Yeah.
It was spelled that way.
Thinking of you in the final throws.
Oh, yeah.
This is when my buzzer goes.
Yeah. No, I knew. Yeah. No, I would strongly agree that was what she was saying there.
Pretty funny. It's pretty funny thing to have in a pop song. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, she didn't get it. If there's
like
one
this
thing,
was a major, huge album.
If you know nothing else about her background, it's one thing is for sure. She definitely gave absolutely no fucks.
No, it's what I love most about her. It's what took me a long time to like realize about her, that she was like one of the real motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, no, she just absolutely. she was like a straight up blues or soul singer that legitimately just got born way many years too late. Like legitimately, there's very few other people. I mean, we've seen a lot of other artists go, but she was like so very clearly like just the wrong time. If she had been back then, it would have been. I can't even say the story would have been that much different. But
right, yeah, man. She's definitely one of the real ones for sure. You know. The final thing, well, there's two more things. The verse 3, so now she's told this whole story like with like crazy detail without giving you detail almost, you know what I mean? Just through like her metaphors and shit. She's told you like this story and made you like feel like that like hard pain, you know, that she's talking about. And now you get to the end of the tune. It's the third verse, and the band kind of drops out, and it's just like arpeggiated guitar playing the chords. And she sings this verse that like, so the lyrics are: sweet reunion, Jamaica and Spain. We're like how we were again. I'm in the so just right there, right? Just those two lines: sweet reunion, Jamaica and Spain. We're like how we were again. And coupled, like I was saying before, how this track was so masterfully like put together with this lyric. Like because of what the band is doing, the guitar player's doing, you'll hear it on the playlist. It like creates this like lofty vision of like, you know, now we're past it and we're together again, and it's like real like dreamy, you know.
Sure. Yeah,
but then the band drops right in, and she says this thing about I'll just read it. I'm in the tub, you're in the seat, licking your lips and soak my feet. Then you notice the carpet burn, my stomach drops and my guts churn. You shrug and it's the worst. You to truly stuck the knife in first. She's like immediately drops reality on you after like taking you to like dreamland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a punch in the face, lyrically, I think, you know.
Yeah, well, that song also has there's like the 2-bar reset on the drums, where I think, right, if I remember correctly, there's like a section that's just like for a second, it just goes back to the, like just the drum set for a second. Is it? It might. No,
it might be. I think I want. No, I think it might this. It might not be this one, or if it is this one, it's not there.
Yeah, no, not leading to that.
This is definitely it's like Spanish guitar sound.
Yeah, no, I know the song. This is one that I had to unfortunately learn for the School of Rock Adult program.
Dude, I love this song, man. I wouldn't say unfortunate.
It's not unfortunate that I had to learn the song. It's unfortunate that it was for the School of Rock Adult program.
The adult show,
particularly that one. Yeah. Yeah. Not about the song.
Yeah, if you've never dived in, like, it took me a long time, because when she was out, like, I was like, whatever, you know? And, like, I knew it would be, like, a quick thing, but, I mean, nobody expected what would happen, but...
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I was like, whatever, like, it'll be gone in, like, two minutes. And I had, like, gotten, I forget where I got this record from, but, I had listened to it once when I was on tour for the first time, I think, while I was on tour, just because I used to tour alone, you know, and driving in my car, and just fucking finding shit in my iPod I didn't even know was there. I'm like, oh shit, I don't think I've ever really listened through it. And I did. And I was like, fuck, man, that shit's pretty good. And then after I watched that documentary, I've been like, for the last like month, I've listened to this record like maybe once a week.
Nice.
Yeah,
man. I'm gonna end up diving back in just because of this conversation, but I've definitely had my spurts. You can really appreciate her on many levels. I mean, because if you were to say she didn't write a single song, she was a badass singer, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
it was hard to read the lyrics without like singing the melody, like singing it in her rhythm. Her phrasing is
right. No,
crazy.
No, there's all of the the attitude and all of the swag. I guess that is the one thing I can say is that it is that it's not just the mix. Her attitude in it was a modern swag of the badass diva.
Yeah,
singers
dude.
from the 50s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I had it backwards before when I was saying that she was, she should have been born back then. Maybe they should have been born around our time. and because
it is though, it's like her vibe is like, I don't know, I'm like smitten with her.
I think a lot of people were, and I think if I haven't seen the documentary, which I can't remember the name, the one that you're speaking of, I had to have seen clips of it, because I know that I've seen people talk about her in all aspects of the music world, and all of them just be like, it's a shame because they all knew how ridiculously and incredibly talented she was.
Yeah.
From top to bottom.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's my first one. You want me to do my second one, or you want to go? You got something to talk about?
Well, I mean, I always got something to talk about, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's up to you, man. I mean, you're on a roll. We can keep talking, Amy. I mean, I guess the one that is interesting to me, I don't know, I don't think this is the one that you're doing. What is it? Tears Dry on Their Own?
Oh, yeah, I thought about doing that one too.
So that one's an interesting one to me because it's just ain't no mountain high enough.
Right, the music is for sure.
It's like a half step difference.
Yeah. Didn't they do that with the School of Rock House band?
Yeah, well, because yours truly was like, hey, did anybody notice that these are the same songs? But it's, it took me a second the first time I had to teach Tears Dry. It didn't occur. I was like, wow, this song's kind of catchy. And then I had to teach Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it was the drum part that gave it away. You know what I mean? You're like, wait a minute, that's the same drum part. Wait, that's the same bass line.
Was there not a lawsuit on that because the vocal was completely different?
That's the thing is like, that is by technically speaking. And again, these are the kinds of conversations I definitely want to spend more time on is by definition, as far as I know, I'm certainly no lawyer, even though my last name's Silverberg. I know some people get confused, but I am not a lawyer. From what I understand, it is melody and lyrics that is the copyrightable.
And both of those were vastly different.
Right. So,
other than being in 4/4 time.
That was the big debate, though, with Blurred Lines, the song Blurred Lines, and why can't I think of whose song was up? Wow, it's terrible. One of the soul artists. Why can't I think of?
Well, we're talking about Marvin Gaye, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's who I could. Yeah, I couldn't. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah. They, but that's where that debate got questionable, because it was like, that whole song is different, but the groove is what they said was the same. And it's like, well, that's not what's copyrightable.
Right.
If that's the case, then there goes playing a shuffle.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to digress too far, but there's an interesting thing I saw recently about some guys that specifically created an algorithm to generate some ridiculous amount of melodies so that they could copyright those. Not to be jerks about it. In fact, it's quite the opposite. They were doing it to prove the point of how ludicrous it is to be able to like hold some of these copyrights permanently. That is like through randomization, because if this computer is going to generate this melody, then you're going to write a melody, and then some computer is going to say, this is the same song, and you're going to be like, there's no way I've heard that song. That song's never even been released,
right.
So, but anyway, an interesting songwriting thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll do Back to Black real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to do the tune Back to Black, because that's another really, really good
title
one,
song,
I think. Yeah, the title song. Same album. This song refers to her real life relationship and breakup with her ex-boyfriend or whatever. You can look that up on your own. I don't really care about that shit, but it made one hell of a song. The song vibe is like dark girl group. So if you think of tunes, maybe we can get some of these up on the playlist.
Absolutely.
If you think of tunes, Back to Black has the same vibe as Remember Walking in the Sand by the Shangri-Las. I know by the Shangri-Las, but every girl group did that one, I think.
Yeah.
He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss by the Crystals. I don't know who was naming these fucking tunes, dude. That would never fly today.
It's a different time. Let's just say
but that was a song by the Crystals called He Hit Me and It Felt Like a Kiss. But if you hear the vibe of it's similar to this. And then the third one I thought it sounded like, which we've already talked about, is The Hunter Gets Captured by the Game.
I'm glad you brought that song back up. I'm glad you brought that. I've listened to that song now a number of times since we first talked about it.
Are you in love with it now?
I don't know if love is, but it is certainly very interesting. It is definitely dark and creepy, like you explained it. For that time period, it is strange. There's no question. It
throws you off the first time you hear that tune.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. I think this song shows her elegance and phrasing prowess in her ability to drop a swear word like the phrase "keep his dick wet." And from another tune, what kind of fuckery is this? Who says fuckery? I didn't even think that was a word, and she used it four times in one song.
It's that is a British. I imagine, like it would be a more Britishy type of thing to have said. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess. But she has a way of dropping them in, and you don't even know they're there. Which is
unquestionably.
Cool,
but it goes back to what we were just saying about that like swag and attitude that was there and natural Like that's how she talked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's so rare to hear from a songwriter. Like people always talk about the voice that, do you hear that?
Right.
She was talking in her voice.
Yeah.
Always. You know what I mean? it wasn't, let me put this metaphor here because it's going to make a pretty song. It's no, this is what I fucking mean.
Yeah. This song, one thing I noticed about the first verse of this song is she tends to use, it's not perfect every single time, but it's perfect enough to see a pattern of like sort of an ABA pattern of sounds between the words. So in this, I'm gonna read the did it again. I should
man.
Get the goddamn lyrics up.
Oh man. He did it again. Did it again, people.
I'm just gonna list like how she does it, and then I'm gonna read the whole thing so you can hear it all together. Right. So she has this like ABA pattern of like sounds in her words, like same old self bet, right? It's like short alliterations almost. Me and my head high.
It's the vowel sound.
On, without. Went back to what? Tread on troubled track.
Yeah.
Back to black.
So not just vowel sound, but there's sounds there that are clearly
consonant sounds.
Yeah.
That like sort of go ABA.
Yeah.
Which Absolutely. I thought was really cool, and I would assume on purpose because the whole first verse has almost every line has it.
Yeah, when we say on purpose, that's what makes me stop. Like, there's part of me like I guess there's part of me like it's hard to explain. I have no doubt that she was talented enough to do it on purpose. I think that she was probably so talented that she didn't do it on purpose and just did it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And that she made, like, I don't know if she sat there and reorganized her lines the way that I've seen, I've worked with other writers where it's like,
I can't tell you because I could never nobody could write the song again, tell you what happened
Absolutely.
in your brain.
No,
I mean, as a writer, I know what you're talking about because like once you like get like, you've kind of for the most part established like the melody you're gonna sing just in like even in the split second of just first playing the fucking note of whatever you're writing, you get an idea of like the breadth of the melody,
Sure.
And I think that dictates definitely what sounds and shit in the sentence that are gonna naturally flow.
Yeah, no. Again, just for people who are not songwriters or have never really tried, it's very, very common. Like what Vin's explaining is essentially that like as you start to sound out a song, there is something there beyond just a melody. Besides like the literal notes when you typically, sometimes it's just the notes for people, but you can often, if you hand somebody a microphone and say, make up a melody, they are often going to naturally start to change between vowel sounds and just, they're not necessarily going to have words, but they're going to be and there's a great actually demo of Michael Jackson doing Billie Jean.
I always love when you played that at camp.
And you hear him hear the whole song, but it's all like he's got some of the words that he actually stayed with, but you can hear him down to all of the parts. He figured out the whole song, and none of it's not really words. That's just so people understand what you mean by like, that right. she could have been sounding out and just came out with vowel sounds.
If you do it, you'll like that shit. Like, it's kind of almost the stuff you don't think about because you're just it's gonna tumble out. Like, it is. It's hard to explain. Sure. Yeah.
I think we covered it well enough. I think people got it.
Yeah.
Go got for it, dude.
That's pretty much it. For me, The chorus is pretty cool on this. She's like has an ability to like really stay in like the theme of things in her chorus. Like her chorus lyrics aren't really so it's not like a huge change of voice from her from her verse lyrics,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like this big pop punchline, like
Yeah, but it is a punchline for sure.
I get
like,
you. I hear you.
Yeah.
But I like where it's not like a repeated. I don't know. Like any of the.
Right. It's not like an anthem.
A radioactive.
Yeah. Right. It's not something you're like gonna like be singing. You know, top down, hair blown in the
wind. Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yeah, I love. I mean, the more I listen to this record, the more I like it. You know,
sure.
I think she's an absolute genius or a master at writing some lyrics, and obviously her singing and phrasing are, just she was one of the best. It's too bad we didn't get to see what else she was gonna do.
Sure.
Huh?
Yeah, and actually, it's funny. I am who I'm going to talk about is somebody who I always talk about. However, I almost did go a different route, and maybe I will the next time we talk about this. I was going to pick Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix because I thought it would have been really interesting to look at a song by somebody who we think of solely as a guitar player.
True.
Who wrote that song by himself. And to me, that song is beautiful. And if you look at it, it's, so, I mean, I guess add it to the list, people. We won't even, I won't even, I don't even,
you might as well.
It's a short one. So you guys can pull up the lyrics and you look at it, but, it's, it's very, I guess you could argue it's psychedelic, but I think that if you really look at those lyrics, I think Jimmy was writing something really beautiful. And I think he was describing something too. He was a very, I don't know. I feel like he was a very spiritual being beyond that. We know that that's like obvious, but there's people forget he was literally Native American. There's a piece of him that was Native American. So like, I really think that there was truly, and he had a very special connection with his grandmother. I think, either Castles Made of Sand or Wind Cries Mary, either one or both of those songs are about her. He talks about like playing cowboys and robbers and stuff like that. And he mentions that. And it's like, it seems like a random lyric, but it's really because it's like, but that's not in Little Wing. That's
right.
But I guess, like I said, maybe I should have just picked Jimmy because there are a few songs that are really like, if you look at them, he was really trying to write a song. It wasn't just look at how good a guitar player I am. He was trying to write something pretty, which means a lot.
He was always trying to say something.
Yeah.
More than,
But that being said, my go-to when I talk about these kinds of things is pretty much always ends up falling back to Bruce Springsteen. So when we come to lyricists, I'm an interesting is not the right way. I'm a weird dude when it comes to things, I think, Vin. Well, that's for sure. But in particular, when it comes to listening to music, I think I have a theory that there are two types of listeners. And there's probably more than that, of course, but I'm going to just generalize and put people in two categories. You've got people who listen to a song and the first thing they do is listen to the lyrics and the singer. And then you have another camp of people who listen to a song and they listen to all of the music, and they might even be listening to the singer, but they're not listening to the lyrics.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's myself, is like my brain is really wired to be music side of things. I love lyrics. I write songs. I enjoy writing songs. I don't think I'm the best in the world. I think I have a knack for playing with words. I have fun twisting words around. But really, when you play me a song and say, what did you think of that? I'm probably going to say, I need to listen again. Because I probably listened to the music side of it first, and you probably want to know what I thought of your song. And I'm probably listening to all the production, and it's just how my brain works. So the reason I end up choosing Bruce Springsteen when I talk about lyrics is because with that being my typical mindset, this guy makes me listen to every word he's saying.
Yeah.
So that's why I can't help it. And you know, when I try to think of like what's my favorite song, I can list a bunch that'll come to mind at any given moment it'll change. But this is like always the fallback. If I don't want to think too hard, if somebody like I feel comfortable saying to them, yeah, the Thunder Road, my favorite song, you know, like, and so I chose Thunder Road, and I don't know if I'm going to read lyric for lyric because I feel like it's kind of long. Because, you know, but I'm going to give you... It
takes you on a journey for sure.
It sure
Travel
does.
miles.
Right. And I see what you're doing there. You know,
I wrote... I'm a creative type.
What I did is I wrote my little synopsis. Basically, I took Bruce's song and put it in my voice. Not exactly entirely, but quick little pieces from here and there.
Yeah.
I will definitely dive into some of the information. I guess... you know what? I'll do the quick rundown of it first. And then from a music standpoint, in general, Bruce's stuff, I hate to break it to people, is not typically the most complex. Like it's not intended to be the most complex music out there. You know what I mean? And he admittedly, his voice is not what he knew wasn't going to be the selling point per se. You know, so the guy had to write like really freaking good songs. That's what he had to do. The only way he could have gotten to the place he got was by, writing really damn good songs. So the musically, like I said, though, it's fairly simplistic singer-songwriter stuff mixed with some soul progression type stuff. But nothing really crazy. The songs in the key of F. It's really beautiful piano playing. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it is, man.
It's one of these songs.
My favorite part.
I think
and the Glockenspiel part are my two favorite parts.
If you can learn how to arpeggiate through these chords, because it is a full education on how to make a song sound like it's doing way more than it is.
Yeah.
In a perfectly, like, it's not overplaying. I'm not trying to say it's like overdone, but it's definitely finds a way to, it's the chords are F, B flat, C, we got an A minor and a D minor here or there, but he's arpeggiating and passing through different chords to get from chord to chord. It's really, really a full, like I said, a full course for piano players out there. Roy Bittan, the professor. Yeah. So that's, like I said, on the music side of things, there's a lot to talk about here. I mean, I think you and I have talked about at the very end, there's the coda, I guess, if you will, really, where we're just the big fanfare, and it is kind of a crazy thing when you really think about that, the journey you've taken on this whole song. It is crazy that's where it ends up. When you really think about it, you're like, how did we get here? Like, this is crazy. But all right. So lyrically, this first verse, like you said with the first Amy song we talked about, sets up a scene. I mean, and I guess this is, Bruce's like superpower, I suppose, would be his ability to set a scene. The scene is as clear cut as it could possibly be. Not only is it clear cut, but he puts you in it. He says, so, like I said, I have my synopsis here, and I'll pull up the actual lyrics if I got to. They're here somewhere. He said, he describes the scene, even down to what song is on the radio. And that song is like me. It's me in the song to even, that's how far he goes. So this one I can do it from my head, right? So screen door slammed, Mary dress waves. Like a vision, she dances across the porch as the radio plays. Roy Orbison singing for the lonely. Hey, that's me, and I want you only. Yep. Look at that. You see that? I had that memorized. That doesn't have, I can't.
Yeah, you don't need between the two of us, you're not going to need the lyrics for this.
But like I said, if you really look at what that's saying, you know, screen door slams, you can start to picture the screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. It sounds like if you were to describe a movie, Mary's dress waves. You know, like
a direct. It's like a direct. No, it's like a director giving direction.
No, you're right. It's director's notes. Absolutely, like a vision that she dances across the porch as the radio plays. Roy Orbison is, as the radio plays. Roy Orbison is really. He breaks it up into a separate line, but it's really that. It's, as the radio play Roy Orbison, and Roy Orbison is singing for the lonely. Hey, well, that's me, and I want you only. That's. Again, I won't focus on every single verse. We'll be here all night, but that, but that's again, like you were saying with Amy, that's some masterful shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
He just made you part of the story. What I'd
badass
like to check
tune.
What's up?
It's a badass tune.
Yeah, for sure. I remember the first part of the lyrics. Right. So, then, next part, he's basically saying, don't run away. We can do this. We're not young and you're not pretty, but that's fine by me. It's really what you look at that verse. And it sounds kind of mean when he says it, because it's like, hey, you ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right.
Yeah. Right.
That, it seems kind of gruff, but then when it's coupled with the next verse, you realize what he's doing. And the next part of it is, basically, you could run back inside and you can stay there and live in your sadness and hoping for happiness to come your way. But I'm not perfect. That's for damn sure. All I can offer you is like what's underneath this hood of this car. And I think this is a double meaning there. I think he's probably saying something about like the internal workings of a man too. What's been underneath this hood. I think anytime we're talking about a car racing and all that kind of stuff, there's got to be some parallel to manhood and strength. Is my guess. So he says that, and then and all I can offer is like I said, what's underneath this hood, and a chance to make it all good. And what else do we have? It's again, like you said, it is a movie. It's like it is a movie from that Greasers time period. Like like it really is. You could be reading scenes of a movie. You could see how this could be happening. You can see how the two people standing there and pleading, like, "What else? Come on! Let's just go. Nobody will stop us."
Yeah, and then at that point, it's like cut scene to driving down the road.
Right. So now this lyric right here is one of my favorites of all time, and it's not even that it's that important. It's just that I can't. It's another engaging you lyric. It's gonna make you it pulls you into this. Roll down your window and let the wind blow back your hair. If you can't, as a Jersey boy, if I'm in any proximity of the beach and that lyric comes up and I don't roll my windows down, something is very wrong. Like it is ingrained in me, and I don't have hair to blow back anymore, but I used to. So
you got beard hair to blow.
That's true. That is true. So like I said, that's one of my favorite lines. He says, roll down the window, let the wind blow back your hair. This road will take us anywhere, right? It's going to take us where we're going. It doesn't even, it's just this simple. So climb in, take my hand. We're heading to that promised land. Now we get the first time that Thunder Road is mentioned. It's kind of interesting. Again, if you think about the whole theory of it, the whole song, this is the only time Thunder Road actually by name is mentioned at all. And really, ultimately, if you kind of look at it, doesn't necessarily have all that much to do with anything at all. I mean, it does, but it's not the most important part,
Yeah, right.
So that's the first time, and then after we get this, whoa, Thunder Road, you know, sit tight, take hold, Thunder Road. Then we get the bridge, which is, I think for some other people, and certainly live show, it's definitely a place people love. Well, I got this guitar and I learned how to make it talk. You know, it's such an opportunity to do something live on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
My car's out back, and if you're ready to go, you just, you know, if you're ready to go, my car's out back, and I know you're waiting for me to say some, you know, there's some words you're waiting for me to say and stuff like that, but like, let's just go, you know. The last part, man, I kind of would love to, you know, talk about with you what you think the last little section where, you know, it starts talking about, you know, the souls that basically, to me, it comes across as like there's all these broken hearts and souls left behind by
is it Ghost in the Eyes of all the boys who sent away, that one?
Yeah. What I take away from it, and maybe I'm just a simpleton reading it at like base level, is just that there's like, you know, that there are other guys that have been trying to court her and this and that, and they literally will drive by and try and get her attention, and she'll come out to the front porch and they're gone. You know,
I always thought they were I always thought that part was like sort of like what's the like, it's like a 50s cliche to like for a car to go around the turn and they don't make it, and three kids roll over in a car, you know?
Right, yeah.
I always pictured that part as like that image.
Interesting.
You know? They were like, what do they call it? Can't think of the name of the curve. You know, the curve has a name. I forget what it is.
It's that the lyric. It's all beautiful stuff. Actually, even not knowing what it means, truly. It's still a beautiful.
It's all right. It's okay.
It's still all really. And I think that's the thing, is like I still know what all of that picture. You know, your graduation gown lies in rags at their feet. You know, like all those. It's all. Yeah. It's all just. I don't know.
I always pictured that thing I said, because the whole story to me, like you said at the beginning, is like 50s greaser story. You know.
Right. Yeah, no, it's, and then I guess last but not least is the very final line is, you know, this is a town full of losers and I'm pulling out of here to win. Yeah. And that's just a lyric right there. You know, I've talked to other writers about this, about Bruce in general, and I think they talk about his ability about going back and forth, that I forget which way it is. It's either the verse or the choruses. Are like his story, and then it becomes our story. You know, and that's why people get pulled into some of his songs. And this is an example of that, is like that last lyric is one that everybody can relate to. I don't care what town you grew up in. You at some point were like, man, I just need to get out of this town. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. Like, don't try and play that game. This town,
what the fuck?
You definitely feel. Oh, got a little glitchiness going on.
Yeah. Was I
I
freaking out on your camera?
No, like, I think I heard myself play back through yours, but we good. Yeah,
we're good.
But yeah, like I said, town full of losers, pulling out here
to win.
Right, and then into that. Yeah, it is a movie, and you know, he talks about that whole album that's what it was. The whole album was what we just talked about. You and I have obviously talked plenty about this album. So it's that what's interesting is it's the whole album, but then also song by song, you can look at it that way too. You can go like, wow, the whole album was a movie described, or even and individually in this song, which is really, you know, pretty freaking cool, and really hard to do. But yeah, that's you know, pretty much what's going on with Thunder Road. And I mean, if we want to get into the analytical, you know, of course there's rhyming and stuff like that and everything. But there's absolutely value in that. But to me, this song is an interesting.
Yeah, that stuff goes without saying, though, most of the time.
Well, and it's kind of an interesting spot though, because it really is a perfect blend of the early. It's this is third album, I think, right? I think this is the third album at that point.
Yeah, third album.
So he had gotten away from, little Bob Dylan, basically, being little Bob Dylan, which I personally, I enjoy some of that stuff a lot.
Yeah, me too.
But it's very wordy point, like it would be this kind of a format of a song, right? We're not getting a chorus more than once in this song. It is a troubadour. I call these songs troubadour type songs because to me, troubadour would sing their story. So that's all it is to me, is that this is just a story sung. You take any poem and sing it and it's a song, I guess. But, it is by definition a song. But, it's a different kind of thing than knowing that the chorus is coming up and we sing this part along with it.
Yeah. Song structure here is something to be said,
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, I won't go. The other stuff I know about it is I know that the song Thunder Road is not necessarily a real place. In fact, it might be a real place, but Bruce was not writing about a real place. In fact, I think he was inspired by the movie picture.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was like he saw the movie poster, didn't even see the movie. I don't think. I think he literally just saw the poster and thought that, oh, that's a cool thing. And that became, and then there were two other songs that he wrote that led to this song that I tried to find. One was called Angelina and I couldn't find it. And another one was called, it was a girl's name. It was like Katie's song or something like that. Or, but there are definitely other songs. If you listen to, I know the track stuff in and out. There's definitely a bunch of track songs where Thunder Road is mentioned, at least.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So he definitely had a thing for it at this period. There was clearly, it was something that clearly struck him. And I think that's, again, I like pointing on stuff that people don't understand about songwriters. There are songs when we might have the idea, but you can write that song a million different ways around that idea. Yeah. And he might have written 8 songs while on his way to get into Thunder Road, and all of them got whittled away into Thunder Road, and the other ones either totally just became Thunder Road, or they also became other songs that you also know, that shifted entirely. And it's just I think that's why I've mentioned you, Vin. I'd like to do more on some of the process and talking to other writers and stuff like that when we talk about lyricists and songwriters.
I think we both know plenty of people who should come on and talk.
Obviously, everybody's, in terms of the writing process itself, everybody has their own process, and that alone is interesting to just talk about. Is like, okay, what's your process for writing, right? That's a cool conversation. But also, I like what you and I were doing today, like I said, I'd love to bring some people on. Is just, let's pull up some random songs. Let's pull up some songs. Let's ask people, what is your favorite song, and have you ever thought about why this is your favorite song? You know what I mean? I don't know that people go that far to ask, and you don't always have to have an answer. It could just be, I don't know. It makes me feel good. Perfectly acceptable. No problem with that. But I don't know how many people have actually just thought beyond that, or, have tried to think beyond it. You know what gets me about this song? Man, the way that guitar part grooves is actually the thing that makes my head nod this way,
Right.
Or I like the way that Amy Winehouse uses the word fuckery,
Fuckery, dude. And she does it 4 times.
Another part of the conversation.
In 4 different ways, too.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, all her songs should be check. Read the lyric. I suggest reading the lyrics while listening.
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I wish some people have it set up so that you can pull up the lyrics while you're your Spotify. It used to automatically do it, and it's gone in and out. But I don't know if it's still that way. There's probably some rights management crap there.
Pull them up on Google on another device.
But another side to the conversation also that I'd like to have is that I naturally had to you have to think about, if you're going to talk about lyricists, you have to include hip hop and rappers as well. And it really made my thinking challenging when I started to go like, holy, if you really think about it, some of the way that some of the most incredible poetry and lyrical gameplay has come from rappers, man. Wordplay, not gameplay, has come from rappers. The way that Eminem can put lyrics together, that dude is, he's not a songwriter because he doesn't write melodies. But if you ask me, he is one of the most important songwriters that we have had to offer. Just outrageous.
True.
So like I said, that's just another side of the conversation, and I'd love to also talk about that. That's right. Thing to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely should.
But for today, we can leave it at what we've got.
Absolutely.
And I guess
more to come.
Absolutely. We're going to talk forever. And like I said, we should choose maybe next week, and maybe we'll do people that were songwriters, known primarily as songwriters. Maybe they turned, a Carole King. I can accept,
right.
She's
like
clearly,
a Willie Nelson.
Right. These are people that clearly that are writers, but also obviously very, very important artists. But they kind of got there by way of being amazing writers.
Yeah,
which is an interesting thing.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm down for that.
Yeah, and maybe we'll see if we can bring on a special guest or something for that one. I'll see, whoever it might be.
Definitely.
For that one,
almost everyone we know qualifies as a songwriter.
That's for sure. Anybody out there watching, just let us know if you want to come join us for. The only rule is you got to have a beer.
That's right. I've been
done
done with this beer for like an hour now.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm not showing up. I don't usually. But all right, we're gonna let everybody go. But before we do, the last thing, just a reminder: first and foremost, check out the Spotify playlist. We'll be putting it throughout the video, so you should be able to remember. It's called the Vin and Phil Show on Spotify. Has all of the songs that we have talked about on all the other episodes, and the most recent songs that we talked about in this episode will be at the very bottom of the Spotify playlist. I usually add them in order of when we had them on the show,
which makes for one killer mix.
It really does, and it's getting better.
Mix.
It's getting better and better. I use it even to run, man. Like it's just good music. Period. It's just we talk about some good stuff. So that's the first thing. Secondly, again, Vin and I both would always appreciate any generosity that you guys have.
Anything you can do to help.
Yeah, we're obviously just trying to make our way through this current time period and doing the best we can, but all the help is useful and needed and accepted. So we both have Venmo. Vin's is at Vincent-Mott, M-O-T-T. And mine is at Phil-Silverberg. That's silver like the metal, B-E-R-G. And, no pressure, but please feel free to send us something over. That would be awesome. And one last note. Well, actually, two last notes, because I'm going to jump in here too real fast because I got a little plug also. I got a new track coming out on July 24th. I have a side project. It's a lo-fi hip-hop project, people. So if you're into some just really chill music, I got a new track coming out on the 24th.
Warm Coffee did great, didn't it?
By my standards, absolutely.
Probably that means by my standards too.
We're hoping it gave me a new target to beat. That is what I'm always looking for.
I was hoping to see that video you were talking about possibly doing.
Well, there's still time. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll have to make a video of this.
I was excited to see my espresso pot.
At the very least, I've got your video.
Am I the only one that sent one?
You were the only person I mentioned it to.
Oh.
Because I just haven't got out and posted about it. Vin ruined it. He ruined my video. Now he's told everybody what the story is. No, I'm kidding. But send me your videos of you making coffee. Send me your videos of you making coffee if you want to be in a music video.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Hopefully people have stuck around this long in our conversation to hear that plug and know that there is a bonus to listening all the way through. You could be featured in a Phil Silverberg lo-fi music video.
It's true. It could be the one that makes me famous, and you could be the reason.
You could be, your coffee mug could be the star.
It's true. Maybe if you're special, you might even get your hand in there. I might allow that. I could accept the hand. But hopefully they've been watching this far, and hopefully they're watching a little further because they still got one more plug to sit through.
That's right. Go
ahead, Vin, plug it.
It's my brand new EP released today. Well, today that we're recording this, it's Monday the 13th. By the time it gets to you, it will be out and available. I mean, it's already out and available everywhere you can download music or stream music on the intronets. And every little bit helps, like we said before. If you guys support live music or support, original music, original artists, go ahead and just download that EP so I can buy groceries and pay my rent. And
hell yeah.
Car bill. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully you'll join us again for episode number 5 of the Vin and Phil Show for now.
Yeah.
Because we still need a name.
Still need a name. Send that in too.
Still need a name.
Give us that name.